Good evening and welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. The Haryana shock verdict is having an immediate fallout in the very nature and dynamics of the India alliance. Now, the Congress's poor showing in Haryana is being used as some kind of a cautionary tale, a wake-up call, if you will, by its own allies. Parties like the Sena UBT, the Aam Aadmi Party, the TMC, the left parties, they're all warning the Congress that the Congress party, the grand old party, has to be more accommodative of its allies. It should cut down on the hubris. It should cut down thinking that it is now naturally going to be the beneficiary of anti-incumbency, and whenever the BJP gets voted out, the Congress will get voted in. The Congress is to earn the vote of the Indian voter. So then the question is, where did the Congress go wrong? Clearly, this was a state where the Congress was poised to win 10 years of anti-incumbency, Kisan, Jawan, Pehelwan. That was the narrative. They had a leader who has been a former chief minister, easily one of the tallest leaders in the state. Literally, the Congress snatched defeat from the jaws of victory in Haryana. So was it the fact that they threw all their eggs behind the Jats and behind Bhupinder Singh Hooda? Was it that rebels, whether it was Congress's own independence that they couldn't manage, or whether it was third-party candidates who actually spoiled the party for the Congress? Is it the Dalit vote, the OBC vote, the Jat vote? What exactly caused this rout? We'll try and get to the bottom of it. But here is the problem. Even if we have hours and hours of television coverage or reams and reams of newspaper coverage about where and how and why the Congress party lost Haryana, the Congress party seems to be convinced that it's none of these reasons. The singular reason the Congress party believes they lost Haryana is because of faulty EVMs. Now, we've heard this bahana in the past. We probably will hear it again in the future. But frankly, this is a red herring, and it's a very tired argument. So we'll put that to rest through the course of the show. But first, I want to run you through the story of what has been the fallout the day after a very shocking verdict from Haryana.
कांग्रेस तो जीत रही थी। ऐसी कोई व्यक्ति नहीं मुझे मिली देश में कि जो बोल रही थी या पत्रकार हो कि बीजेपी आ रही है, लेकिन बीजेपी आ गई। उनकी एक यंत्रणा है, उनका एक सिस्टम है, उनका एक मैनेजमेंट है, उनको मानना पड़ेगा।
One of the foremost lessons that has been learned, perhaps even by the Congress party, is that overconfidence is not good.
हरियाणा के चुनाव के नतीजे अप्रत्याशित हैं, आश्चर्यजनक हैं और इसको हम स्वीकार नहीं कर सकते। पहला लिस्ट जो हमने तैयार किया है, 12 या 14 सीटें ऐसे हैं जहां गंभीर सवाल उठाए गए हैं उम्मीदवारों द्वारा।
हिंदू समाज को तोड़कर उसे अपनी जीत का फॉर्मूला बनाना, यही कांग्रेस की राजनीति का आधार है।
So let's leave aside all the rhetoric, all the political gyan. Let's go purely by data. Where did the Congress party go wrong? Where did they lose this election? There are two, convenient theories that are being put forth, and I'm going to try and explain on the magic wall if it holds true or not. One is the Dalit vote. Now, the contention is that a bulk of the Dalit vote, which went away from the BJP in the 2024 Lok Sabha election, went to the Congress or to Samajwadi Party or, the parties in Maharashtra, Sena, UBT, etc. That vote, the BJP seems to have got back in the state of Haryana. Let's put that to test. Look at the Dalit reserve seats, SC reserve seats as far as the state of Haryana is concerned. This is how they voted. 17 SC reserve seats. Congress got 9. BJP got 8. So virtually it's been a split, almost 50-50. The gain for the Congress from 2019 was 2 seats, and the gain for the BJP was 3 seats. So it's almost evenly split. The Congress is a 1-seat advantage in the SC reserve seats. So it was not like the Dalits entirely, mass voted back in favor of the BJP. So that's one argument that has been put forth. The other argument that's been put forth is the Jat vote. That the Jats overwhelmingly were angry with the BJP, massive anti-incumbency. There's not been a Jat chief minister for the last 10 years. Therefore, they're all voting with their feet for Mr. Hooda and for the Congress party. Let's again put that to test. The Jat factor. There are 30 Jat seats, which is a substantial number, by the way. It's about a third of the entire state. 30 Jat seats. Congress won in 15, which is a gain of 4 from the last time. The BJP won in 13, which is also a gain of 4 from last time. So whatever gains, the Jat seats have gone exactly identical for both parties. Gain of 4 for BJP, gain of 4 for Congress. Here again, the Congress has a 2-seat advantage. 15 seats, Jat seats went to the Congress, 13 seats went to the BJP. Again, there is nothing to suggest that the Jats have voted in one direction or for one particular political party. Again, just like the Dalit vote, the Jat votes have also split. There are 2 possible explanations for why the Congress lost in Haryana. Number 1, the OBC vote. And this is where you see a very, very interesting pattern. There are 25 OBC dominant seats. Remember, these are non-Jat OBCs. 26 seats, out of which BJP won 20. A lion's share of the 26 seats. 20 seats BJP won. A gain of 6, which means BJP in 2019 had only 14 out of these 25 seats. The Congress, on the other hand, won only 4 out of these 25 seats, which means the Congress got less than a fourth, in fact, less than a fifth actually, of all the OBC votes. And where are these OBC seats? A bulk of them, of course, are in the Ahirwal belt. So if you look at the candidates that the BJP fielded, the Yadavs, the Ahirwals, the non-Jat OBCs. There's also a bunch in the GT corridor, which are urban constituencies, which is where the BJP traditionally tends to do well, all the way from Ambala down to Sonipat and Panipat. They have done well there. Also, this was the path that the farmers had taken. So all of those constituents, urban constituents, traders, shopkeepers, etc., who were not particularly enthused by their life getting inconvenienced, they have voted for the BJP in this belt. But the bigger belt is this Ahirwal belt. You go all the way from the urban pockets of Gurgaon, Faridabad, drive all the way up to Bhiwani, Mahendragarh. This belt voted for the BJP. So this is one demographic or one community vote where the BJP has really taken a massive lead. The other factor, and this is again interesting, those seats where there were rebel Congress candidates, Congress could not give tickets to 2 candidates, therefore the person who did not get the Congress ticket went and stood as a rebel. Now, where the Congress rebel polled more votes than the margin of loss of the official Congress candidate. Let's take a look at some of those seats. There are, I think, there are 11 such seats. Obviously, the BJP won 10 out of those 11 seats. The Congress did not win any of those seats. There was an independent who won the other seats. So 10 out of these 11 seats, the BJP won. 1 went to an independent. Now, the interesting thing about these seats is, like I said, it is not the AAP or the INLD or the other smaller parties that have actually played spoilsport. It is Congress's own rebels who stood as independents, got more votes than the margin of defeat of the Congress candidate. So which means they were, as they say in this part of the world, classical vote katwas. So I've put forth these arguments. Let's now put this to our guests. I'm sorry I took some extra time explaining this because I think it's important that our viewers get the right picture. Because a lot of arguments, pseudo-arguments are being put forth also as to why the Congress lost an election which it should have won. I've put out 2 factors which seem to be the ones that have made the difference. Now let's put this to our panelists. Guru Prakash Paswan is national spokesperson of the BJP. Charan Singh Sapra is national spokesperson of the Congress party. Dr. Sameer Dalwai is spokesperson of the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. And the reason why we are opening this up to other states that are going to polls, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, etc., is because already there is this clamor within the Congress's own alliance partners in the India alliance that, this was hubris, this was overconfidence. They need to be brought down a notch or 2. They need to be more accommodative of their allies. And of course, we're also joined by Smita Prakash, editor of ANI. Charan Singh Sapra, let me come to you first. I just showed you on the magic wall where the Congress party lost Haryana. Do you believe there is now reason for Congress to accept that, look, there were good reasons why Congress lost Haryana. The OBC vote went away from you, the rebel candidates hurt you, and of course there was an even split of both the Jat vote and the Dalit vote. Do you think these should be the reasons that you should introspect and say why you lost Haryana? Or is it EVMs? Because this EVM bahana is getting to be a little tiring, a little, people are fatigued by it.
See, Zaka, let me start by saying that Congress workers, they might be sad, but they are not totally demoralized or totally dejected. Failure can be our teacher, but cannot be our undertaker. We believe in that. And Congress worker is basically very strong, and we are going to fight it out, and we are like Arjun and not Abhimanyu, that we'll get trapped into the Chakravyuh laid by the Bharatiya Janata Party. As far as the calculations which you have shown now, we also know, we are also aware about the rebel candidates. We have shown that there are 11 rebel candidates, and that is also one of the reasons. So whatever you have now explained, we are also aware, and we have started our introspection. You know that Shri Rahul Gandhi has met Honorable Congress President today, and they have discussed so many things over there. Secondly, as far as the EVM thing is concerned, I feel if the Congress High Command is getting some complaints from Panipat, Hisar or Mahendragarh from various candidates, why we should not take the cognizance of that? It is our democratic right. We are allowed in democracy that if there are some complaints, if there are some technical snags pointed out, or if there are some anomalies in the EVM which have been pointed out, it is our democratic right to take it to Election Commission.
Okay.
We have taken that to Election Commission.
Fair enough. Nobody is denying your democratic right. So I'm going to give our viewers an explanation, an analogy. So the Congress Party's contention is there were some EVMs in certain constituencies where the batteries were showing 99%. Now, obviously, the batteries were changed, is their contention. There were other constituencies where the batteries were showing 60% or 50% of the EVM. Now, there are two flaws in this argument. Imagine this is your cell phone, right? So, the Congress's argument is that the batteries were changed in those places or those machines where the batteries were changed, there was some ghapla and suddenly it was all showing BJP vote. Now, to give you the example of the cell phone, if I change the battery of my cell phone, the Congress's argument is equal to saying all my data in this phone will be lost, my phone will go back to factory settings, and that somebody else will hack into my phone with data that they are providing. Now, it's elementary that anybody knows by changing the battery of a cell phone, your data is not lost, or it's not that somebody else can hack into your phone just by changing the battery. So that logic, I think, is a little flawed. So let's put that to our viewers. But Saprasab, the problem is not that. The problem is you are not making that same argument in Jammu and Kashmir, where your alliance did very well. You are not making that same argument in the 2024 Lok Sabha because you did exceedingly well there, you believe. This selective use that whenever Congress party loses, they come up with the EVM bahana, that's the problem.
Zaka, first of all, I have objection to the kind of explanation you have given. Congress party has not written to Zaka. We have written it to the Election Commission. It is for the Election Commission to give us an answer. Please, whatever you have explained, I respect that. But we need an answer from the Election Commission, not from Zaka, number one. Number two, this entire thing, whatever you are saying, that why no complaints from Jammu Kashmir or why no complaints during the Lok Sabha election results, there were really no complaints. Now when there are complaints coming, we have put forth it to Election Commission, we have given in writing, we are ready to substantiate. Our people in the booth, in the counting booth, are ready to substantiate also. Let the Election Commission give us a hearing. Let the Election Commission go ahead. Let them answer to the query which Congress party or the candidates have raised.
Let me go to Guru Prakash Paswan. Guru Prakash Paswan, I mean, obviously, the BJP snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, to use a cricketing parlance, because, like I said, no one was expecting the BJP to win the state of Haryana. And it was not even like people were saying, either the reporters who were going there, the exit pollsters, analysts, even netas, I want to say this on air. Yesterday morning, on counting day morning, one of our political reporters spoke to a very, very senior BJP leader. I'm not going to take any names. who basically said before counting began, see, it won't be as bad as what the exit pollsters are saying. मतलब हमारा 15-20 में नहीं रुकेगा. We might get 30-35 seats, but Congress खींच लेगी. This was what a senior BJP leader had said, right? So no one was expecting. Yes, you can conveniently blame the journalists and the exit pollsters, rightfully so, and nobody has a problem with that. But even the netas were very clear that, look, it is going to be a Congress win. Now, my point is there can be multiple explanations for it. Obviously, the Congress party has chosen EVM explanation. I have put out a couple of explanations for what actually happened. The BJP is saying that this is evidence that all this hawa that fell out, or this afwa that fell out during the Lok Sabha election, that the Dalits fell for, and therefore some of them voted away from the BJP and voted for the India Alliance. That vote bank has come back to the BJP. Again, like I showed on the magic wall, there isn't evidence to substantiate that. Please respond.
You have made a very valid point, but let me respond to Mr. Sapra, who is a dear friend from the Congress party, and let me remind of the tweet that was done by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So this is beyond our comprehension, Zaka. All the EVMs were fine in Jammu and Kashmir, but the EVMs were faulty in parts of Haryana. What is this? If this is not selectivity, then what is selectivity? There was victory of constitution in Jammu and Kashmir, Zaka, but the defeat of constitution in Haryana, Zaka. This is beyond our comprehension. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi, please don't be selective. Please talk on the basis of logic, rationality, and have some coherent argument. Point number one. Point number two, Zaka, that you were suggesting, and I partly agree with you, when you say that the shorgul was about. The shorgul was in the build-up to the Haryana election, it was Congress aa rahi hai. But who created the shorgul, Zaka? And this is where the problem lies. The Congress party relied upon the community that is entirely responsible for creating the shorgul. And what we saw, even that community did not vote or support the Congress party. Like you suggested in your initial observation, out of the 30 Jat-dominated seats, 18 seats were won decisively by the Bharatiya Janata Party. And the counter-Jat polarization, which many of you have suggested that has happened. What has happened today, that you saw the insult of Kumari Shelja. Let me quote Professor Shivraj Singh Bechain, who is a Dalit scholar. And I'm happy, Zaka, that you spoke about the Dalit issues towards the end of your remarks. Professor Shivraj Singh Bechain, who is a very leading Dalit intellectual, a professor at Delhi University, has said, and I quote, "Asprishyata aaj physical nahi hai. Untouchability is not just physical, it is symbolic as well. It is through gestures as well." Only this morning, I was going through this newspaper, and this categorically says, Kumari Shelja, state unit to blame, they did not let me campaign. What is it about? What is the Congress's explanation on the exclusion of Kumari Shelja from the entire campaign strategy, Zaka? You expect Kumari Shelja, you expect the Dalits to vote, but you are not willing to share power. Let me go a step further, Zaka, and we have to understand, Mr. Rahul Gandhi should stop treating Dalits as amusement park material. What Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been doing is the same modus operandi that Europeans used to do when they used to come and see African people. Mr. Rahul Gandhi today will go and eat with a Dalit family and try to take brownie points. Are we living in 1800, Zaka? Are we living in 1900? आप दलित समाज के साथ भोजन करके ये सिद्ध करना चाहते हैं, you are treating a human being like a human being and you are trying to take political advantage out of it. This entire hypocrisy, the conspiracy of the Congress party fall flat, Zaka. Now come to the arithmetic. The BJP vote share has been constantly on the rise. In the 2019 assembly election in Haryana, the BJP vote share was 36%. In the 2024 assembly election in Haryana, 40%. Increase in vote share, Zaka, increase in number of seats, Zaka, and this election was being touted as a litmus test, a referendum on the popularity of Prime Minister Modi. Okay. Prime Minister Modi, who only a couple of days ago, Zaka, completed 23 years as head of state in Gujarat and India recently. If for an instance, hypothetically assume if Prime Minister Modi or the Bharatiya Janata Party had lost the election, what would have been the headlines today? BJP routed, Modi routed. But on the contrary, we see the people's faith. The people have blessed the leadership and the Bharatiya Janata Party with their Janadesh, with their Ashirwad.
No, so fair enough. You're right in the last part of what you said. Had the BJP lost this election, they would have said, it would have reinforced what was said starting the 4th of June, that Modi ka magic khatam ho gaya, he's on the decline, he's no longer can deliver states. the story is over, so on and so forth. I think one opinion piece basically said Modi has lost his mojo. Now, Smita Prakash, obviously none of that is going to happen now, because they have won a state which they were widely expected to lose. But I am still trying to find the best explanation for why the BJP won. Now, one explanation that has been put forth, and I think there's some anecdotal evidence to show this, is that RSS cadre were out there campaigning, distributing their parchas and so on, and trying to mobilize the BJP supporters to turn out and vote. Two, what I just put out the data about the non-Jat OBC consolidation that happened in Haryana, perhaps in response to the fact that, if Mr. Hooda comes and there were memories of his rule, they felt like only one community, ek hi tarfa sunwai hogi and all of that. So maybe that's a plausible explanation. But none of that explains how and why. See, you can get numbers wrong. That's fine. The numbers can go upar niche thoda bahut. You cannot get direction wrong. If you get direction wrong, then something fundamentally, has been missed by pollsters, journalists, even the netas themselves.
Well, I think when you're searching for answers as to what went wrong or what went right, depending on how you want to view it, I think all of the above. I would say, because you put out so much of data out there where you came out with facts about this region, that region, the Ambala belt, the GT Karnal road, the Jats, non-Jats, the Dalits, everything. All of it seems to have been playing a role. And yes, that part also which you said about the RSS and BJP coming on the same page. One more point I would like to add to this, in addition to all that you said, I don't dispute any of that. In addition to that, I would say that the knock that the 2024 election gave the BJP, that took down the arrogance level a couple of notches and brought up the humility level a couple of notches. So when they went door to door, I heard some of the people commenting, saying that बहुत हो गया, ये रोज रोज आके हाथ जोड़ के हमारे सामने खड़े हो जाते हैं saying vote for us. So what was happening was, they have these Panna Pramukhs, Panna Pramukhs the BJP has, which in 2024 general elections, some of them did not get to work because for various factors, they probably thought that anyway we are going to get 400 par, so why take the trouble? 10 years of being in power made them a little lazy probably. We've gone into all the reasons why things went wrong in 2024. Those things were probably righted, and whatever fissures were there between the RSS and the BJP probably got sorted out because they were working in tandem, is what we saw. At least that's what we heard, that's what happened. It's all in hindsight that one can talk about caste algorithms, what worked, what didn't, and things like that. The point is that Kisan, Jawan, Pahalwan, all three have voted for the BJP.
Yep.
These were the three people who were supposedly upset with the BJP and should have gone with the Congress. This is what we were told. Also the Jat, strangely when I interviewed Shailja and I said, oh, the Jats are in majority, and she corrected me and I said, oh my God, why did she need to correct me? Why did I say Jats were in majority? They are not. They're just 25% of the population. But because they are so vocal and they run roughshod over every other voice in that state, one tends to think that it's Jat supremacy, Jat Shahi. We've seen all the analysis now. And it's the silent OBC Dalit community which remembers the rule of the Hoodas in 2012, the rape case of Hisar, how they never got a closure from that, they never got an apology from the chief minister. All that played, and frankly all of us didn't listen to it or didn't see it happening. Again, we made the same mistake like we made in 2024 general election.
Okay, so now I want to take it forward because obviously the next big state is Maharashtra, Jharkhand, then you have Delhi next year. Dr. Sameer Zalwai of the NCP. There are other alliance partners from the India Alliance. Sena UBT, your partner in Maharashtra, has come out and said this. Aam Aadmi Party has said this. TMC has said this. A lot of parties within the India Alliance have said that this has happened because of overconfidence of the Congress Party. And this is a wake-up call to the Congress Party that, look, you still need to do the hard yards. You still need to do the hard work, that you need to earn the vote of the Indian voter. Do you agree with this assessment, or is it everybody just using, including the BJP, everybody is just using, when the chips are down, people will knock you down, and as the old adage goes, success has many fathers. So is this a wake-up call, because the Congress party was already behaving like 2024 verdict was a verdict for them to come to power, and they were not behaving like they were supposed to be a responsible opposition?
Yeah, hi, good evening, Zaka. It's always good to heed what's happening around you. Nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, one must understand a few differences. One is that each state is demographically and politically so different, and it cannot be more different than Maharashtra and Haryana. So one is that state. The second situation is in the state of Maharashtra, if you see right now, the current situation of the law and order in every department of administration is in such a dismal, it's right in the abyss. People are completely fed up by what's happening with the Mahayuti government in Maharashtra. The other point that I'd like to draw, that even in the Lok Sabha, where the Congress did relatively, India Alliance did relatively well, it was 50-50. As you know, BJP won 5 and the India Alliance won 5. But if you see in the Maharashtra Lok Sabha elections, it was 31 for the India Alliance versus 48. And especially NCP, after all that had been done to kind of break it down and stuff like that, we still won 8 out of 10 seats. 80% was a strike rate. Now we are going to go ahead from there. So already if you see, the atmosphere in Maharashtra is pretty different, even when we saw back in the Lok Sabha. And I'm sure
is it your contention, Dr. Dalwai, sorry, I'm interrupting. Is it your contention that because in Maharashtra it's a battle of alliances and not a straight fight between Congress and BJP, and we've put this out since 2018, the only state in North India where there is a direct fight between Congress and BJP, which Congress won, was in Himachal Pradesh in 2022. They've not won a single North Indian state in a direct fight with BJP since 2018. So your contention is, because in Maharashtra it's not about Congress versus BJP straight fight, but it's a battle of alliances, that you will be able to shore up what is perceived to be the liability of the Congress? Is that your contention?
Though there's no liability of anything, but let's also understand that BJP is in a unique alliance of its own, and that alliance is MICE, M-I-C-E. We all know what is ICE, right? The income tax, the CBI and the ED, but there's also the M factor here, which stands for money and media. And let's understand that to combat all this requires a formidable opposition. So there's nothing wrong with the opposition is together. And in fact, the original India Alliance was tried out in Maharashtra, the MVA. And I don't think there's anything wrong, because you are up against such a formidable army of all these agencies and the amount of money that the BJP is putting in.
I'll tell you one anecdote. Again, without.
Let me make my point, Zaka.
Okay.
The point is, at the moment, eventually people will vote for whom they perceive is going to serve them well. Janta Janardhan, as you say. Okay. And the way the Ayuthi government has failed on every count, and I've been born and brought up in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, I've never seen such fear amongst the masses when it comes to law and order in Maharashtra, which was such a progressive state, where women's safety was not such a big issue.
Okay, let me share an anecdote. We had the CNN News 18 town hall some days back in Mumbai, and a senior Congress leader gave this interesting analogy. Of course, this whole seat sharing talks are happening in both alliances, of course, in Maharashtra. There's an interesting analogy saying, out of this 30 seats or 31 seats that the alliance won in Maharashtra in the Lok Sabha, 13 or 14, I think, is the Congress. Congress is obviously the single largest in terms of the contingent of MPs that it has from Maharashtra. The Sena UBT has, I think, 9. Of course, your party, the NCP, Sharad Pawar, has 8. So, Sabra Saab, since you're also from Mumbai, the contention of this leader was, if it is 13, then we should get the lion's share of the seats for the assembly as well, which means 100 plus. Now, what Haryana has done is it's changed that. That alliance of these 3 parties, your party, Mr. Dalwai's party, and Mr. Thackeray's party, is now more an alliance of equals. That is what Haryana has done.
Can I just answer that?
No, see, Zaka, I would like to say that in no way Maharashtra and Haryana can be compared. See, Haryana is having only 90 seats. Maharashtra is a state, is a huge state having 288 seats. The demography is different, the political issues are different, the political scenario is different over here. The major political issues over here are the increasing farmer suicide, the loan waiver of farmer, there are issues of Maratha reservation, there are issues of Dhangar reservation, OBC reservation. This existing Mahayuti government is not able to solve these problems. There is the issue of deteriorating law and order situation. You have seen Badlapur, how it happened. You have seen the Pune rape case, how it had happened and how it went ahead. There are so many issues in Maharashtra. The women's safety is a major issue here.
Okay.
So you can't compare Haryana with Maharashtra, number one. Number two, the fact is that Congress contested 17 seats and we have won 13 seats plus one independent has come to us, so 14 seats. So there's no harm in saying that Congress party is a big brother in Maharashtra. Yes, of course.
See,
when the seat distribution is
Sabra Sahab, this is
concerned.
exactly, you've actually in the last sentence
can I
validated
please
my
allow-
point.
Please
that,
allow me to complete.
that because
No.
Congress, and let's
Please
again
allow
be
me
very
to
honest
complete.
about this, Congress unexpectedly became the single largest contingent of MPs in Maharashtra. To use that as the benchmark to say you're big brother or therefore you should get more seats in the assembly as a share, I mean, it doesn't add up.
Allow me to complete. Allow me to complete.
Yeah, yeah,
allow me
boliye,
to
boliye,
complete,
boliye,
please. Why you are restricting me? Why you
No,
are
no, I'm not
me?
restricting
What I
you.
was trying to say that yes, nobody can deny the fact that we have won more seats. Nobody can deny that we are the big brother. But still we are saying that winnability should be the criteria. And as per the winnability, the seat sharing will be done.
Okay.
That is what Congress party has said.
Okay,
And the
Smita
entire
Prakash, I don't
contingent
know
of
if it
all
has
the three
validated my
partners are
point, but
sitting
I think,
together.
yeah.
So that is number one. Now,
No,
Zaka,
no,
I have
one
I have
second,
one more
I've
thing
got
to
limited
say.
time also,
You
Sabra Sahab.
can't
Let me get a
mention-
closing set of comments,
One-
please.
one more,
Because
one more,
I
5
have
seconds,
to, I have
5
to go to the
seconds,
next
5
segment, please,
seconds,
please, please.
No,
please.
only 5 seconds, Zaka,
Okay,
5
5
seconds.
seconds.
You can't term this as Congress as liability because Congress has won so many seats in Maharashtra. We have won more seats in Punjab also than the Aam Aadmi Party. We contested against Aam Aadmi
Okay.
Party
Okay,
and we
fine.
have won more seats than what Aam Aadmi Party has
Fair enough.
got
Fair
elected.
enough. Okay. Smita Prakash.
I can't resist. I can't let this go, Zaka, about Big Brother. I don't think Mr. Sapra realizes that Big Brother is not a very happy term to use. It's a little kind of term which is used for a bully. So next time, I guess you can just say larger constituent or something like that instead of Big Brother. But before that, the NCP spokesperson said, when he was talking about MICE, he talked about media being with the NDA alliance. If you just saw the Haryana polls, the media across the board had given Haryana to the BJP. So to say that the media was on the side of or is on the side of non-BJP parties is a better construct to make. And the other thing, may I just complete, I think what we're going to see, Zaka, is that there's going to be recalibration in the India alliance partners. All the sound bites, stills that you ran, the grabs that you ran just shows that the power equations are set to change because they will have to make, Congress in the India alliance will have to make room for allies because they have now more bargaining power, more muscle power. The UBT didn't take long to react to the result. The spokesperson saying Congress should do some stock taking. Aam Aadmi Party's Kejriwal said also made a veiled remark. And then as you yourself pointed out that the areas around Delhi, the BJP has done very well. So that's going to make the Aam Aadmi Party a little uncomfortable whether the Congress is going to ask for those seats. So, a lot of this, to paraphrase this word of Hawa, if there was a Hawa after the 2024 general election, the allies have read the reading that Hawa didn't last long.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it at that.